Glad you showed up. This guy just ran.
The movie begins with Janiyah, a resilient and overburdened single mother, struggling through life while doing everything she can to care for her sick daughter, Arya, who requires constant medication and attention. They live in a tiny, run-down apartment with peeling walls and barely working utilities. And despite the harshness of their environment, Janiyah clings to her hope and her love for Arya, reminding her during bath time to take care of her school science project, especially because replacing the batteries is too expensive. Arya then brings up her lunch money, worried that her classmates will mock her again if she doesn't pay the teacher, and Janiyah reassures her that today she'll take care of it, as her paycheck is finally due. As they leave for school, their landlord confronts them aggressively, threatening eviction if the rent isn't paid, and though clearly rattled, Janiyah promises she'll pay today. She then gives her last few coins to a disabled neighbor on the sidewalk, an act that speaks to her innate kindness even amid her own financial collapse. Dropping off Arya at school, she exchanges a tense glance with the teacher, who seems silently judgmental. She races to work, arriving late to her customer service job at a convenience store, where her stern boss, Richard, berates her in front of customers. As if things couldn't get worse, her very first customer becomes hostile and throws a bottle at her. And while cleaning up the mess, her sympathetic co-worker Bonnie checks in. Though Bonnie offers her money knowing Janiyah's struggles, she refuses out of pride, insisting her paycheck will fix everything. Her hopes are crushed moments later when she receives a call from Arya's school, alerting her to a situation. She begs Richard to let her leave briefly, and after a tense back and forth, he finally allows her 30 minutes. With no time to spare, she rushes to the ATM outside the bank across from her workplace to withdraw $40 for her daughter's lunch, but the machine malfunctions. Forced to go inside the bank, she's stalled by a long line and eventually gives up, heart pounding with anxiety. When she finally gets to Arya's school, she learns that social services have taken her daughter away due to repeated absences and concerns over Janiyah's financial instability. In tears, she tries to plead with them, begging them to understand that she's doing her best, that Arya needs special care and can't be without her medicine. But her pleas fall on deaf ears. Devastated and frantic, she drives back through the rain, barely able to see through her tears, and almost collides with a man who begins shouting at her.
Stupid fucking bitch!
He follows her, rams into her car, and reveals himself to be an off-duty cop, yelling threats and accusations as she trembles in confusion. A female officer eventually arrives and diffuses the situation, but then discovers that Janiyah's license is expired and has her car towed. With no transportation, no daughter, and now possibly facing charges, she walks in the pouring rain back to work, desperate to just finish her shift and get her paycheck. But Richard fires her on the spot for being gone too long and, worse, refuses to give her the paycheck she desperately needs, saying it will be mailed later. Desperate and shattered, she returns home only to find her and Arya's belongings tossed into the street, soaked by the rain, as the landlord made good on her threat. Carrying Arya's toys and medical supplies in a bag, Janiyah goes back to beg Richard one last time for her paycheck. When he refuses yet again and mocks her situation, two masked robbers burst in to rob the store. One demands Janiyah's bag to hold the cash, but she refuses to give it up, knowing Arya's medicine is inside. In the struggle, Janiyah grabs the robber's gun and accidentally shoots him. Richard then turns on her, accusing her of being in on the robbery and calling the police, ranting that her daughter will grow up without a mother. Enraged and broken beyond reason, Janiyah snaps and fatally shoots Richard before grabbing the paycheck and fleeing. Later, detectives Kay and Bill arrive at the scene. Bill immediately sees it as an open and shut case, but Kay senses a deeper story. Interviewing co-workers like Bonnie, she learns that Janiyah is a kind, hard-working mother pushed to the brink. Meanwhile, Janiyah enters the bank across the street to cash her blood-stained check. The teller refuses to cash it without ID, and as Janiyah panics, she unknowingly brandishes a gun, pleading for her money. And the branch manager, Nicole, unaware of the full situation, quietly calls the police and, fearing the worst, tells them she sees what might be a bomb in Janiyah's bag. Outside, Kay learns about the situation and pushes to negotiate, convinced this is a woman who simply broke under pressure. Inside, the frightened tellers begin handing over money, but Janiyah doesn't want it. She just wants her paycheck.
I'm Janiyah Ann Wilkinson.
One customer tries to disarm her, and a shot is fired during the scuffle, causing chaos, though no one is hurt. The crowd outside grows, and the media begins broadcasting the standoff. Kay contacts Janiyah, who insists she's not a criminal. She only wanted to feed her daughter and couldn't take the endless stream of failures anymore. She refuses to come out while the aggressive male officer from earlier is still there, convinced he'll shoot her. Nicole tries to calm her, and they begin forming a fragile bond. One teller secretly live streams everything, and the story begins gaining public sympathy.
Has gone live.
I had this gun. He said if he sees it, my medicine, she didn't get check on my child.
Janiyah allows 2 elderly hostages to leave and then orders the doors closed again.